Welcome to Really American. I am Michael Hayne. I hope you're all enjoying this fantastic fall weekend. Well, if you're in the Northeast like me, it's a very nice fall weekend. Speaking of which, I took a wonderful trip out into Pennsylvania, and I happened to notice a bit more Harris signs than Trumpy Dumpty signs. So that could be a good sign, no pun intended. Now, you know how there are ignorant people out there? Well, of course, it's America, so there's obviously ignorant people out there. But how they can be like decent and sweet. Like they're not going to know geography. They're not going to know the 50 state capitals, but they're not going to be relentless pricks about it. Now, when it comes to MAGA, they happen to have this unique combination of being relentlessly ignorant, willfully ignorant, and also relentless hostile pricks who claim to know everything about that which they know nothing. Case in point, Dan Foreman, an Idaho state senator and big old MAGA moron, got into a heated argument with a Native American candidate while the two were attending a forum last week. Apparently, this putz yelled, believe it or not, the height of irony, he said, "Go back to where you came from," to a Native American candidate. This is all I can think of when I hear phenomenally dumb shit like that.
Go back to where you came from. That's allegedly what Idaho State Senator Daniel Foreman said to a Nez Perce tribe member at a candidate forum in Kendrick yesterday. According to our Boise sister station, it happened at the Kendrick VFW after a question came up about discrimination and legislation. That's when Democratic candidate Trish Carter Goodhart, a member of the Nez Perce tribe from Lapwai, said she was cut off by Foreman. KTVB, our sister station in Boise, spoke with her today.
I basically just stood up and I said, just because this isn't your lived experience does not mean that discrimination and racism don't exist today. And these are, very real experiences of so many Idahoans. And it's not an Idaho issue. It's a national and even global issue. I didn't even get to finish my sentence. The state senator, Foreman, shot up out of his seat and started, "I'm so tired of your liberal BS. Go back to where you came from."
Just hours ago, Senator Foreman released a statement on Facebook reading in part, quote, "The accusation made is patently false. Secondly, I threatened no one at the forum. There was no racial slur in my statement. However, one could easily interpret the remarks of my accuser to be utterly racist. What does you mean, or rather you people mean?" You can find Foreman's full statement and more to this story on our website. That's krem.com.
Now, and if, as my experience as a digital creator for over some time, I have had the horrible misfortune of dealing with a lot of these MAGA trolls. I don't know where they came from. It's kind of like if you go deep into the woods in the middle of the night and you lift up a rock. I think that's the shit that comes out, and I think that's what MAGA is. Now, anything and everything triggers them. That's just what's so ironic. They're like, liberals are triggered. Oh, hey, look, it's a rainbow beer can. Oh, no, you're threatening my heterosexuality. I'm scared. Anyway, so they're triggered about everything. And, going after them and calling them out and making fun of them, it's as easy as fishing out of a barrel. But if I have found one thing that always, invariably, has them have a full-blown mangina MAGA tantrum, it's when you actually call them out on their racism, which is exactly what this Native American candidate did, and good old MAGA Dan Foreman just couldn't handle it. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument, this guy Foreman didn't say this. Okay. But now, Idaho is basically a bastion of racism. It's the land of Aryan Brotherhood and white nationalists. So naturally, this candidate Goodhart would have problems with his outright racist nonsense. So of course she would try to school him on the history of white supremacist organizations in the state of Ohio. And in fact, how the state GOP had to combat multiple attempts of these white supremacists taking over.
I'm currently in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. The local Republican Party has been taken over by extremists on the right who are pushing their agenda and attacking members of their own party, including city council people and others who are in power. Here, they're fighting back. They've reformed a separate Republican group to oppose the local Republican Party, and they're taking various other measures, proactive and reactive alike, in order to expel this scourge on their community.
They're getting arrested.
The dramatic scene unfolding in a small town in Idaho. Dozens of suspected white nationalists zip-tied and arrested after Coeur d'Alene police found the group crammed inside this U-Haul truck just blocks away from a gay pride event.
No one should fear going to a pride celebration because of a white supremacist.
The men clad in riot gear and masks, one of them wearing a shirt with the words, "Reclaim America."
These guys stopped a U-Haul full of dudes.
Authorities say they got a 911 call Saturday from someone who...
That moment when you claim to be all about white nationalism and white pride, but you can't even show your freaking faces. And you walk around in your Best Buy Geek Squad uniforms and your beekeeper masks. You sensitive, pathetic, triggered, mediocre white male chodes. I guess they're worried they'll lose their crappy minimum wage jobs if they actually show their faces. But really, this is the level of hatred that is happening in Idaho and all across America. And that will continue and escalate and get even worse if Trumpty Dumpty were to somehow sneak in again. But getting back to this Idaho Republican state senator, this isn't his first rodeo. And this is why this obviously probably happened. Now, he is an ex-law enforcement officer. Who would have thought there? Great. And he got to carry a gun and act this way. And apparently, there was a viral video of him in 2017 at an Idaho State Fair that was released from his body cam footage in which he was shouting and screaming at a guy and calling him a son of a bitch and telling him to go straight to hell.
The only one there? Problem in paradise.
Chuck, what am I going to shake your hand and say, send you a birthday card?
I'm just asking you.
I'm tired of people like you walking up and putting out this nonsense.
What's going on, guys?
That's what it is. This guy says I'm not doing my job and he's lecturing me on the Constitution.
Why don't you go ahead and just...
Why don't you take a hike?
Just move along.
Liberal.
Thank you.
Nuttard.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't vote for me.
Nuttard.
Because you didn't.
Nuttard.
Yeah, you're a liberal nut. Go straight to hell, you son of a bitch.
Exactly why he's not going.
They're just such a bunch of well-adjusted, joyous, insightful individuals. That's why it's so imperative to vote out these MAGA mutant chodes and make sure that we save America by spay and neutering MAGA. Anyway, I am Michael Hayne. This is Really American. Please subscribe to our channel and check me out on my latest TikTok at Mike Hayne Comedian. Talk to you later.